Hello everybody and welcome to this late night episode from Hell Dominance. Yes, your host Anthony here. I'm going to go through 3 game highlights for the Super League. So let's begin. So in this late night episode of Hell Dominance, we see Salford Red Devils take on Castleford Tigers, Huddersfield Giants versus Toulouse, and Leeds Rhinos versus Wakefield Trinity, as I bring you highlights of all 3 games. We'll go first through Salford Red Devils and Castleford Tigers. But firstly, there's some news from Salford Red Devils that came via Jenna Brooks, live on Sky Sports. Salford are subject of a partnership takeover by a gentleman named Sebastian James Gerard, who is a haulier who has a company in Swinton in the M27 postcode. A haulage firm, runs driver training and things like that, but he seems to be wealthy enough, as the other part of the Salford deal is to buy the AJ Bell Stadium as well for Salford Red Devils. And according to reports, the deal is in its preliminary talks. The talks are ongoing, and there's genuine interest from Mr. Gerard. Mr. Gerard, seen here on the left, has been part of a Salford team since 2020 as a joint academy team between Salford and Swinton Lions, has been sponsored by Gerard for the last year or two. So him getting more prevalence involved means that it's big news for Salford. Massive, a fairly decent sized company with a sports stadium behind it and a rugby club. It's going to be an interesting time for Salford Red Devils, which might put the back burner on move to Moss Lane with this swap with Salford Football Club. But that's for another time, as there's a rugby match to begin to talk about first, as we see Salford v Castleford in this Betfred Super League game, as both sides are looking to get back to winning ways. Firstly, Salford, who are looking to beat Castleford for the second time this season after beating them on the opening day of the season, while Castleford are looking for more momentum to prove that this season isn't all but done. So the team news. Ryan Hampshire and Jason Karikari continue in the backs for Castleford Tigers due to Niall Everalds, who's unavailable to face his old club, and Greg Eden both still miss out. Manny Fanua and Jake Marmo are the centres, while Darrell Elforts carries on the right wing. Jake Truman and Gareth O'Brien both are in the halfbacks, but it looks like Danny Richardson has missed out. It might be too early for him at this point, as he's not named in the subs. We have Daniel Smith and George Griffin as the props, with Kenny Edwards and George Lawler in the second row. Paul McShane is Mr. Consistency for the Castleford Tigers, while Joe Westerman is the loose forward. Sua Matagi, Nathan Massey, Chase Blair and Adam Milner all complete the bench. For Salford, there is no Ryan Brierley involved today, so Morgan Escaray gets the nod at fullback. Ken Seo is looking to continue his good form, while centres Dion Cross and Tim Lifey have been fairly good additions this year for Salford Red Devils. Joe Burgess, a Super League winner, is on the left wing, while the halves Brody Scott and Mark Sneed continue in the partnership. Jack O'Moroy gets a nod in the forward place, as does Sitaleliki Akawala, while Andy Ackers is at acting halfback. Harvey Levette partners Callum Watkins in the second row. Watkins came out this week and asked to be picked in the England squad if he's good enough in the second row. The former England centre is having a renaissance as his career takes another trajectory. Elijah Taylor is captain and also loose forward. On the bench we have Amir Burrow. Tyler Dupree continues coming on from the bench, while Ryan Lannon and Danny Addy complete the lineup. So we come into the first half, and with little over 2 minutes gone, Salford are on the back foot, and it's Castleford who go in for the first try after a good left side play, sees the overlap being seen on Ken Seo, but Ryan Hampshire throws the dummy and goes in on the left edge for the opening try of the game. It was a well-worked try, and the overload was all there. McShane, Truman, and O'Brien got the ball out to Hampshire, who broke the line. But Salford came rolling back a few minutes later after a great kick by Schneid is chased upon by two Salford players, one being Tim Lifey and a Castleford player. According to the ref, he sent it up for a try in Salford's favour, with Castleford only 4-0 up. Everyone was onside. It was a great little outside the left foot kick by Sneed. But who got there first? Was it Malmo? Was it Lifey? Was it Levette? It was Tim Lifey with both hands for the try. Video referee agreed. And the try was given, which Sneed made 6 points to 4. Then Salford came again after a Castleford penalty to tie up the lead, and Joe Burgess ducked back inside after an overlap was made, and he scored Salford's second try of the game. Great play there. Just a simple pass by Escaray, finding his winger, and then he dives back inside, evading the Castleford defenders. But then Cass loses the ball in the tackle, and Salford are back on the attack. And Tim Lifey finds his winger again, who's got so much pace to burn past the Castleford defenders to score closer towards the post, just on the stroke of half time. Sneed did the extras, and that was 16 points to 6 to Salford. Tim Lifey's influence is getting more prevalent in this game against Castleford. You'll see why in a few minutes. Castleford were the first to hit the straps in the second half after Jason Carey beats his man all ends up to score in the corner to make it 16 points to 10. At this point, Gareth O'Brien had gone off for Castleford due to injury, and it was left for Ryan Hampshire to attempt the conversion, which unfortunately was unsuccessful, so the score stayed 16 points to 10. There was also news on King Vuna Yayawa being out for the season for Salford. Then Salford got a break through the middle after a penalty saw Mark Sneed extend the lead, but the ball was shipped out wide after the break, and Callum Watkins' pass found Dion Cross, who went over for the first try of the half for Salford. 22 points to 10, which was made 24 when Sneed added the extras. Good build up, but great simple passing, and the overlap was there. Brody Croft's long pass to Callum Watkins, and then Dion Cross just strolled over. Castleford came back though once again, and it was that man Carey once more. After a flowing move around to the outside, Hampshire's pass was a little high, and diving over in the corner was Jason Carey. The video ref was called to have a look better into this, but it was called up, no try, thinking that the Castleford man was out of touch. But as you see here, the ball is down, his hand is still up in the air, and looking at it from the front, it agrees. Cass were back in it. 24 points to 14. Stayed that way unfortunately, as Hampshire weren't able to convert. Cass once more were having a moment of madness as Adam Milne goes into the tackle, and thinking he was being held down, he starts giving the referee verbals, which turned into a penalty, which he carried on, and because of this, one more, you're in the bin. And guess what? He did one more. Constant abuse to a referee, and the referee is always going to win. Now for the play of the half. Watch what Tim Lifey did there. He found his winger with an outstanding pass. He wasn't going to get there, but he had the ball in his left hand. And magic ensued. We're going to see it again here. Coming round Escare, Lifey beats Alford, but what an out the back door left hand pass to Burgess. How can you not say that weren't class, as Salford ran in some excellent tries, winning 30 points to 14 after Sneed put over the final kick. The next game that we're going to look at is Leeds Rhinos versus Wakefield Trinity. Both teams have skin in the game near the bottom of the table, with Leeds Rhinos third from bottom and Wakefield Trinity second from bottom. Wakefield, if they lose this game, there is a potential, if Toulouse win, that they could be bottom tonight. Now, onto the teams. Wakefield first, we see Lee Gaskell being at fullback as there is no place for Max Jowett due to injury. Lewis Murphy drops out to the 17 as well, even though he scored last time out, which sees Thomas Minns start on the right wing. Tom Lynham is on the left wing instead of Liam Kay, who drops down to the bench. Jacob Miller continues at half back, with Kalepi Tanganoa and Jai Whitbread being the starting forwards. Matty Ashurst and Jay Pitts are in the second row, while James Batchelor is at loose forward. On the bench is consisted of David Fafita, Chester Butler and Jordan Crowther. For the Leeds Rhinos, we see Zach Hardacre starting at fullback after his stint in the centres last time out against Salford. David Fusitua is back, and so is Reece Martin, while it's Liam Sutcliffe and Ash Hanley who can persist on the right wing. In the halves, we have Blake Austin and Richie Myler, while the forwards are a big set for Leeds, as Cruz Leeming leads around Zane Tetavano, Mikel Eduletsky, James Donaldson, James Bentley and Cameron Smith. On the bench, Brad Dwyer, Bodine Thompson, Morgan Gannon and Gerard O'Connor complete the 17. It was an interesting game for James Bentley, the Leeds versus Wakefield game, as he scored the first try of the game first of all, as on the 11th minute, after a set-up play by Zane Tetavano, Cruz Leeming found Matt Pryor, who passed on to James Bentley to score the opening try of the game. On the 28th minute, after a short burst from Blake Austin, a dummy to almost go over the line, it was Leeming scheming again with Tetavano, but then running against the grain, setting up one more drive for Leeds. It is another worked move that finds Bentley over on the right edge for a second try of the game. But Bentley doesn't go away from the match, as this high tackle sees Bentley in the sin bin for 10 minutes, 2 minutes after getting his double. It was a recklessly high tackle, unfortunately, and at this moment, with all the changes, Chris Kendall only could do one thing: yellow card, which would have been a red earlier in the season. It's Wakefield who take advantage of it. After 3 minutes into the sin binning, it is Jai Whitbread who takes a crash ball off Jacob Miller, who scores right to the posts, which Mason Lino converts. At this point, everyone's back to 13, and it's Blake Costin's turn to get on the try scoring board. Setup play near the post sees Cruz leaving at dummy half, finding Mikhail Edeletsky and passing to his standoff, who goes over for the try. Reece Martin has kicked 3 from 3 at this point, but the final word goes to the winger David Fussatua, who goes over in the corner. Martin adds the extras, but the final score is 24 points to 6 to Leeds Rhinos. Our final game, this intro for it was recorded at half-time between Salford and Castleford Tigers, where it was 16 points to 6. And we don't know what the score is at this point. It's just an introduction. Now, Huddersfield Giants are buoyed after their win against Wigan Warriors last time out, while Toulouse beat Wakefield and could replace Wakefield in the second from bottom position if they beat the Wembley-bound Giants. The Giants are looking to climb up the table to put pressure on those upper echelon teams so that they can make a run towards the grand final. So, the teams. So we start with the away team as Ollie Ashot-Bott faces off against his previous side, where he signed from at the beginning of the season, while there's a place in the right wing for Latrell Schkomkel. I apologise if I got that name incorrect. Matteo Giuseppe and Chris Hankinson continue in the centres, and Matty Russell is the other centre, which means no place for leading try scorer Marcon. The big news is Corey Norman starts for Toulouse at number 6 alongside Lucas Albert, which means that Tony Gigo drops out of the 17. In the forwards, we have Daniel Alvaro, who is a former teammate of Corey Norman, and Anthony Marion and Roman Navarrete completes the front row. Andrew Dixon, Maxime Stefani and Maxime Puesh are the back rowers for Toulouse, while on the bench, James Cunningham, Harrison Hansen, Justin Sangare and Mitch Garbett are a forward-thinking pack-filled bench line. For the Huddersfield Giants, though, they've gone with a tough team, as we see Tuilola here, Jermaine McGilvray and Leroy Cudjoe all returning to the starting lineups. Innis Senior, who's in good scoring form after a hat-trick against Wigan last time out, continues on the opposite wing with Ricky Lulatelli, who has been a crash-bang wallop of a player this season. A wow of a player, to be fair. Jack Cogger is at standoff with Ollie Russell. Oliver Wilson and Chris Hill are front row pairing, as well as Danny Levi at dummy half, with a team that are trying to get tuned up for next week's Challenge Cup final. Josh Jones, Sam Hewitt keeps his place, and Luke Yates continue in the back line. Ashton Golding is the replacement back on the bench, while Owen Trott, Joe Greenwood and Sebastian Ikehifo are on the bench. In very wet conditions in Huddersfield, a kick into the in-goal area saw Ollie Ashot-Bott gets to the ball first of all to score the first try. They don't care who scored it really to lose, just as long as someone did. Which Chris Hankinson adds the extras for a lead to Toulouse of 6-0. It is Huddersfield that come back as Hewitt, who scored against Wigan, gets on the end of a fantastic Cogger kick, which sees him score his second try in 2 weeks. Next, it is all about Roman Navarrete as he got onto the end of a short ball, broke the line and broke through the Huddersfield defence for a 12 points to 6 half-time lead, as Hankinson has the extras. After half-time, it was Matty Russell who in from the left wing to score just left of the posts. Huddersfield, though, have their momentum back, and Ricky Lulatelli finds Innis Senior to put the scores back into parity as he scores the second try and then the third try, unfortunately, for Toulouse, as on the 73rd minute the ball gets shifted from the right edge to Danny Levi, and Cogger goes through the hands of Lalahia to Ash Golding, and Innis Senior squares up the game. Lalahia does. Well, Lalahia added the extras before the second Innis Senior try. That's 5-2. Now, with the 77th minute gone, Jake Cogger adds the 1-pointer. Bit of a scruffy kick, but they all count, and that's 17 points to 6 to Huddersfield. And with only 3 minutes left to go, it was going to be a struggle for Toulouse to get the win, and yet again, for the second time this season, they're beaten by 1 point. Thank you for watching this late night episode of Hell Dominance. Thank you for joining me, your host Anthony. And please remember to like, subscribe, and also click that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way. Tell me what your thoughts are of today's episode. Salford fans, there's parts of you optimistic, but please temper it, as it's only early stages in these negotiations. You must make that stressful. Stress that to you. The Gerrard bid is a real one. They've put in a bid to buy the AJ Bell and possibly take over Salford. It'll be good. It'll be good for the club to get it all under one belt, like the Willows used to be. But temper your expectations. But saying that, a great result tonight against Castleford. We got the league double against them. Opening game, round 13. What more can you ask? Good play as well. Great Tim Li-Fi efforts. Then Leeds beat Wakefield to edge them away from that bottom of the table a little bit. A bit of a gap there now. It's gone to 3 points. Wakefield and Toulouse could be set adrift, and it could be them two that battle it out for that relegation place. I know my money's going to be on, but for some reason I'm going the other way, but I won't mention that until the end of the season. Toulouse, second time in the season they got beat off one of the top teams by only 1 point, this time away from home. That stands them in good stead, as once they get the new players integrated. But they've also lost Junior Vai. They've let him go immediately. So could they bring in someone new? Good. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to stay safe. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.